Nick, it is quite hard to keep up with cars these days because I can remember when a Mini was a small car and a Volvo was a big, massive car, big, huge estates. Does that make me old?
No, that means you've just got a very good memory, Jenny.
Oh, did I tell you you're my favourite?
No, what was that?
Oh, you're my favourite.
Oh, I love you too.
Today.
Oh.
This is what we're testing today. So 2 very premium SUVs. We have the not so MINI Countryman. We've got the Volvo EX30 and the Mini is bigger than the Volvo.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. It probably feels a little bit topsy-turvy and you might be wondering, why are we comparing these two? Well, it's because they're basically the same price. So if you are looking to buy a sort of small, slightly premium family SUV, then these 2 cars should firmly be on your shopping list. And we're about to tell you why.
Yes. Will it be the not so Mini?
Or the rather shrunken Volvo?
But before all that, if you aren't already, please do subscribe to the channel, switch those notifications on, like, comment, all of that. It makes us happy.
Yes, it really does. And do what she says, because she's the boss.
This new Countryman is the largest Mini has ever made. At more than 4.4 metres long, it's a mammoth. It's bigger than well-known family cars like the Nissan Qashqai and is almost 1.5 of the original classic Minis long.
Now, that might upset some of the purists out there, but it does mean that if you have a growing family, you can still have a Mini, and there is a lot to like about them.
And one of the things I like the most is the way it looks.
I mean, this is a head turner. This is a very, very good looking car.
It's good, isn't it?
This is the first time I've seen it in the flesh when I arrived this morning at the barn, and I can't take my eyes off it.
You loved it straight away, didn't you?
I do. Something about the two-tone with the gold roof and the gold mirrors. I mean, I am kind of a black and gold girl sometimes. I mean, I just feel like I've got the wardrobe to go with it. But no, it is a great looking car. I particularly like the shape of it as well, how it's all sort of squared off. It feels quite big, but it's actually only 20 centimetres longer than the Volvo, which I don't think you would appreciate when you first see it, but it feels sort of SUV-like.
It does, but I think other than the squared off shape that you get now with the headlights at the front, I actually think this is a really clever piece of design. It is unmistakably a Mini. It couldn't be any other car. Yeah. But as you said, it is much bigger.
Yeah, this is where it gets really exciting, because obviously having too many children, it's always been a little bit tricky to ever own a Mini because of the boot space. But things have changed, because back there, you now get 460 litres of boot space. So we can compare that to something like the Audi Q4 e-tron or the Nero Electric or the Mercedes C-Class Estate. So that is a decent size for what is supposedly a small SUV.
I'm still not convinced it's big enough for you.
Well,
I've seen what you carry in your car.
I'm trying.
You could give it a good go.
Yeah, all right. Shall we have a look inside?
Yeah.
Oh, it just gets better, doesn't it?
You coordinate.
You do, look. I'm really overexcited about this Countryman. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because I like brown seats and blue. I'm all about the aesthetic.
I actually do really like brown seats. I love brown interiors, and I like this one a lot. But what I like most about the interior is that there's no boring plastic. Look at it. It's this lovely knitted fabric.
You could wear it.
And it feels really nice. And I love the way that you get this two-tone on the doors. And of course, there's loads of different options to play around with.
It's very cool. I mean, I never thought I would like recycled knitted plastic, but it feels good.
It does. It really does. And that's the other thing you notice in here is the build quality. It feels so nicely put together. Just little detailing like the stitches on the steering wheel are all very precise. Isn't that little strap there on the steering wheel really cool? Steering wheel feels nice. Of course, centre to all of it is, as always, the big round screen.
But how cool is that? That they've taken the original round dial and turned it into a round screen. I love it.
It's great. And then you've got some lovely little things, like you've got a power button. You turn that on, which is nice. So you have got switches and buttons for the things that you need the most, which we like.
Experience.
And then the experiences is great. You can flick through this and you can set it up to your heart's content and you can have different experiences. So go-kart, listen to this.
Woohoo! Let's go, Jenny!
I know. It's just a sense of fun and playfulness. And in a practical terms, you've got everything you need. Decent head height.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
There's
it's good.
loads.
It's big,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
we're not the tallest, but we're not the shortest. Well, maybe she is. But, you know, as a combined height, and it's got a lovely sort of pano roof. Are you sure they've got the pricing on this right?
Yeah.
I don't believe it's going to be under 45 grand.
Yeah, so good storage, good cup holders. There is a full review of this if you want to know more about the interior that we've got over on the YouTube channel. But I think just in terms of a place to be, everything.
I like the door handle as well,
The brush chrome.
which kind of reflects here in your air vents.
Yeah, all of that. It's good. It's a nice place to be.
Keep going.
Should we go to the back?
Keep going.
So cheeky. She's so cheeky about my height. Space is good again, isn't it? I mean, I know that we're not the tallest. Well, I'm not the tallest, but good headroom. And actually, I did set the seat for somebody much taller than me, probably someone around sort of 6'6", and I've got stacks of leg room. So that's all good. And it's comfy and it's light and it's bright.
It is. It doesn't feel like there's loads of space. There is loads of space. And again, you know, you've got the same design quality in the front that you have in the back. So you've got your lovely knitted doors. You've got this stitching here. This is obviously, look at that, very nice. You've got your cup holders. Yeah, it's just really well made. Attention to detail is brilliant. You can slide across here and you don't lose any sort of height between your head and the roof.
You don't, but there is a problem down there when you slide across here. So because this isn't a bespoke electric car, you do have the remnants of a transmission tunnel, and also this central console, it pokes into the back. So whoever's here in the middle seat, I mean, let me demonstrate. It's going to have to sit like that, and knees up.
We know she is not going to sit like that, don't we? How are you going to sit, Jenny?
I'm going to sit like
You're
this.
going to sit like that.
I'm gonna
You're going to tramp all over me.
Arms folded,
Yeah.
legs spread.
And I'm going to have a handbag right there. I won't really sit like that.
So that is a bit of a downside if you've got older children and you're carrying regularly, you know, three adults in the back. That's not going to be ideal. But other than that, yeah, I might say nice place.
Again, it's another thumbs up.
It is.
Shall we go and see what the Volvo has to offer?
Let's do that.
Come on, the Volvo.
It's a very different vibe, isn't it? Kind of less cartoony, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite stylish. It's quite sleek. It's stylised. I'd say it's quite chic, quite modern. I like these lights.
They're lovely,
They're
aren't they?
very distinctive. I think you can spot the EX30 quite easily with these kind of hammerhead lights. Obviously, you've got absolutely no grille there at all, not even a fake grille.
But I like that. I think it's a really lovely exercise in classic Swedish design. So, you know, yes, I think that, you know, I like the way the Mini looks. This is the kind of opposite of that. But it's sort of, it's striking. I see them on the road and it does make me go, oh, I like that.
But as you say, a very different style to the Countryman, as you will also find on the interior.
It's more than 20 centimetres shorter than the Mini, which makes it the same size as a Ford, Puma or a Nissan Duke. And I tell you where you're going to notice that. In the back. With someone tall in the driver's seat, there is very little legroom in here, and there's not much foot space under the front seats either. And that is the same story in the boot. It's 318 litres, which is comparable to a Super Mini, but it can't get close to the Mini. To help you make the most of it, Volvo has put a handy little infographic to help you work out how much you can actually cram into it. There's a small frunk too, but you're going to need to be a cable folding ninja to get even one cable in. Now, before you say anything, I think this is a very different vibe to being in the country.
Yeah, this is.
I feel like this is sort of, we're going back to like when Tesla first came out and everything was very minimalistic, quite futuristic. You know, there are some really, I'm going to see the positives.
There are some really nice features, like this little armrest and the cup holders, how they come out. A good little space saver when you're not using it.
Yeah. Come on, we're doing positive.
It's just a style that I don't love.
The lovely air vents.
Yeah,
They're really nice.
I completely disagree. I'm sorry. I think the air vent, it looks like it's got a, you know, when you buy some like clothes and there's like a little plastic tag around it. It's just like the plastic tag's been forgotten, it's been taken off. I don't like that.
I think you're harsh.
And I know what you're going to say, but it's made from recycled material, but does it look nice?
Yes, beauty, as always, is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
You know? And listen, bear with me on this. There are similarities with the Mini. Okay, it's got lots of nice materials. It's interesting.
Unique materials.
But also you've got the nice knitted fabrics as well, which
seats
I really
are lovely.
like. Seats,
nice colour actually. I must say,
I like the colourway. They've done that. I love the fact that they've used recycled materials like sort of old plastic shutters and old plastic door and window frames. So I think all of that, creating, all of that is very clever. It's got this central screen as well, which is, not like the Mini, one big central screen.
Yeah.
But I know that massively divides opinion, and I have a pretty good idea which side of the fence you'll sit on over there.
I am getting used to the screen. I just, it's a bit too minimalistic, and I'm just not 100% sure. But it just reminds me of like a kitchen tile. This feeling. I quite like the door handles.
Plush kitchen tile.
And then, of course, we go to our lovely screen and infotainment system, and then you realise that there is one like quite major thing missing, and that is Apple CarPlay. Now, having actually been through all the functions that I would use, it actually doesn't really affect me that much because you can use Bluetooth to make phone calls.
Yeah.
There is Google Maps on here already, and that's what I love and use all the time. And then you can actually log into your own Spotify accounts. So actually, the three things that I personally would use it for, I don't need to use it. So it's not the end of the world, but I do appreciate that a lot of people have been waiting for it, haven't they?
I think part of the problem is because the system does it really well. It's operated by Google Brain, as you say, you've got all that stuff. But I think the issue is that when we first drove this car, which was about a year ago, probably 12 months ago, they were saying, oh yeah, and the CarPlay's coming and Android Auto, they're coming in an update. And then they were coming in an update when they went on sale in the UK, and they're still coming in an update.
You know, when they say it's like an over-the-air update, it's just travelling all around
it's got a lot of miles to do. And I think for a lot of customers who were expecting that to come, because a lot of people do rely and do really like CarPlay, that has not been great. And I think the other thing we need to talk about with this car, and probably with Volvo, but generally, is the software.
Yes,
so there's been a lot. We had software issues initially when we drove this car, and they were all going to be fixed and over their update. Things like it not charging at the right speeds, at incredibly low speeds. Owners' forums are absolutely full of them, and I think that has been some issues, which is a shame because I think it has marred what is, for me, a very good car. So I think, you're right to point out CarPlay doesn't bother you. It wouldn't actually bother me that much, but I know a lot of people are not happy about that, and quite rightly so.
No, there is nothing, and there's nothing wrong with this interior. I'm just going to get back on. But remember when you're paying over £45,000, you just please to feel like it. Okay. And the other final thing is, when I look ahead, all I see is the road. I'd love to know how fast I'm driving at the same time. That would be so useful instead of having to look over there all the time. That's so distracting.
That is a problem. I know when I first drove this car, I was like, it's really missing a head-up display, and it isn't going to get one.
Yeah, there's no optional.
No, and I think that is a bit of an goal. Anyway, talking about driving, should we go for a drive?
Go on.
I will leave you.
I'll race you there. Have fun.
Okay, let's go for a drive. And this is the SE All-4 version, which means it has 2 motors, 4-wheel drive, 301 brake horsepower. 0 to 62 takes 5.6 seconds, which, while it's slower than the Volvo, I think is fast enough in a car like this. Yes, I love the speed of the Volvo, but I just don't know if you need it. This is a bit of a tight corner on these little country roads. And this is why the Mini, yes, it's still small, but I can sneak in next to the big Range Rover Go on, love, you can get a bus through there. Go on, you're fine. Yeah, she's done it. Well done. Do you know what? I have a thing. If you can't drive Range Rovers on small country roads, I don't believe you should be allowed to own one. Anyway, back to the Countryman. So driving this again for the second time, the first time on UK roads, has reminded me how lovely it is to drive. It's just well balanced. Mini set it up well. They've done things like make the tyres a bit wider so that it rides nicely. It's got a Goldilocks balance about it. You know, on the one hand, it does feel comfy and stable. On the other hand, it makes you feel connected to it. It's fun to drive, like a Mini should be, which is a bit of a surprise for something as big as this. It does feel pretty peppy for its size, and I do think this car really suits electric. It's got loads of grip, it's stable, it's smooth, and it takes corners nicely, even if you're pushing it. One thing I do love is the steering. Oh, it's got a nice weight to it. Even the steering wheel just feels nice. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get in a car and the steering wheel just feels good in your hands. That's what this feels like. It's also very easy to place the car where you want it on the road, and it will go exactly where you want it to go. Now, how you drive it depends on what mode you're in, and you access those by this little toggle switch here. They're called experiences, of course they are. So I'm currently in efficient range. Of course I am, I'm a good girl. I'm getting a bonus range of 7 miles at the moment, and what that does is, of course, puts it into the most efficient drive. You get increased brake regeneration, and I love it because you have a little hummingbird flapping away to remind me that I'm being good. I love hummingbirds. If I put my foot down like this, oh, it goes pink and the cheetah comes and it warns me to slow down. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? There are loads of other modes that you can try though, of course. So core mode is like the basic one. There's a vivid mode. Some of them are just sort of themes. Oh, and music. That was quite loud, wasn't it? But this is the other mode that I think you will like the most. It is here and it is called Go-Kart. Woohoo! Indeed. So immediately you get fake engine noise, the roar of an exhaust, everything tightens up, steering gets a bit tighter, the throttle response is a bit more urgent. Look, it's not got the kind of go-kart appeal that the smaller Minis have, but actually I think it strikes a really good balance between having that sense of fun and, you know, giving you that smile behind the wheel, but also being comfortable and practical, which is what you need from a family car. So after green and go-kart, my other favourite mode is balance. Look, it's in balance. We just get some nice zen-like music. The lumbar support increases in my seat and it hugs me a little more. The sunroof automatically closes. You know, when you just had one of those really rubbish days at work, you get in the car and you want to go home and you're in a bit of a bad mood, you can stick it into balance, and I just think it's that little sort of like zenness that it gives. I think I would appreciate that, and it might mean that I get home in a slightly better mood than usual. I do like balance mode. I love that that it makes. My problem is I'm so crap at meditating. I don't like doing things slowly. This is what I want to do. Here we go. Back into this one. Wait for it. Woohoo!
Forget the fun for a bit and let's think about efficiency. The Countryman has a 64.6 kilowatt-hour usable battery, which gives a range of 256 miles. That's about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is okay, but not outstanding. Charging peaks at 130 kilowatts on a DC point, which Mini says will get you 10 to 80% on a rapid charge in around 30 minutes. AC charging is at 11 kilowatts unless you tick the options box again and upgrade to 22.
I was about to start talking about the driving experience, and already the sensors are beeping at me. Just going to take one deep breath and hope that they don't beep at me too often. Because although it's useful to have to remind you to stay in the white lines or to keep your eyes on the road, it's annoying. And it's now beeping at me because there are no lines, so it's all confused. So what I was going to say, it's a really nice drive here in the Volvo EX30. It really is. It's very responsive. It's very quick, as you would imagine, because this is the twin motor performance. Now, when you first look at this, you know, I think we've agreed that it is quite sleek, quite chic, quite stylised. But what you might not know is it has a secret weapon. It actually lives a double life, because this has, wait for it, long pause for effect, 426 brake horsepower. What? So yes, this is the twin motor performance. So yes, you would expect it to pack a bit of punch. But what? I mean, a Porsche 911 is about 380 brake horsepower. This has more than a Porsche 911. And this is like a small, compact, family SUV. What?
But here's the thing, and feel free to disagree and say I'm a big spoilsport, but I think it's just too much, right? I mean, it's like everything has been turned up to the point where it feels a little excessive, especially in a car of this sort. Don't get me wrong, it's always fun to launch up the road at silly speeds for a short burst, but the Volvo just isn't the sort of car that suits that sort of pace, especially since it's not really able to handle big speeds in the corners. The steering feels a little odd at times, so you're not quite sure what's happening, and the suspension isn't able to cope so well with a mid-corner bump. The bigger wheels on this performance model can make that ride a touch crashier too.
Now, both of these cars have the same size battery at 64 kilowatt hours, but interestingly, this is slightly more efficient and can actually eke out an extra 23 miles, which is going to be useful.
I do like the Countryman to drive, but we need to talk about price now.
We've got to talk the money, haven't we? Let's get down to business, because this is where things get a little bit interesting. Because this version, which is the Ultra Twin Motor Performance, actually comes in at £850 cheaper than the starting price of your Mini Countryman. But Ginny, tell me a little bit more about the model I'm looking at right now.
Yes, I have just pulled up the spec sheet for this car, and let's just say somebody's been quite busy with the options. There's been a lot of tick boxing going on. So the basic Mini Countryman SE all-4 is quite a lot, that, isn't it? Anyway, that version is £46,600. So that's the basic model of this. However, on this car, you've got to add £600 for that nice paint, you know, that black and gold that you like so much.
I reckon that's 600 quid well spent.
Okay.
All right, okay. Well,
lovely wheels, there'll be another £600 for the 19-inch wheels.
probably worth it.
Then there is the level 3 pack. So that pack gives you a sunroof, which is lovely, 22 kilowatt hour charging, very useful, high beam assist lights, a Harman Kardon stereo, that head-up display, other bits and pieces too. That adds £5,300.
Yeah, and I'd like all of that as well, please.
I know. So if you want all of that, in total, this version has got options on it costing £9,175.
So actually, you're looking at more like spending 55k for that. No wonder. I kept saying if they got the price right.
And it is such a problem with Mini. They're very, very clever. They have the options packs. So it's really hard, you know, you might just want the head-up display, or you might just want, you know, the sunroof, but you've got to buy the packs. And before you know it, you are adding a lot of extra money
And everything you keep saying, I'm like, yeah, I'd want that. I want the head-up display as well. But there is one thing you cannot take away from the Countryman, and it is not an extra, and that is the way it drives. And it does drive really nicely. So I think the Countryman has definitely got something on its side there that you will get included. But if you're looking at kind of everyday practicality, efficiency, a slightly cheaper, better value car, then actually I think it could be the Volvo that's the winner here.
It could, but you wouldn't go for that version. I think both of us have agreed that that dual motor,
Not necessary,
don't need
is
the
it?
speed. Go for the single motor extended range, which is about £37,000. If you can afford it, it's the Countryman every single day. I can't afford it, sadly, but it is the most fabulous car.
And I think that's actually some very good advice that Ginny has given you there.
Really?
Don't go for the car that you can do 0 to 62 in 3.7 seconds in, because you're only going to get a speeding fine. Let's be honest. Don't do it. Take the temptation away and get that single motor with an extended range. So you're still looking at nearly 300 miles of range.
Look, sensible consumer advice, and we're also thinking about your driving licence. Surely that's got to be worth subscribing to the channel if you aren't already.
Exactly. Subscribe immediately, and always remember, points don't win you prizes.